and I wanna talk about it. And I know you don't. I've been holding hard for so long, so long. And I don't know where to start. I don't know where to start now. Tell me when you hide. Where do you go? Tell me she nice.
Hey,
Hello.
how's everybody doing?
We making
Well, welcome to Dope Chycks Collective Podcast. I am Danny Blue, your host, and I have Monique. And there should be other people joining us later on. But the topic for today is basically about beauty standards in the Black community. And we're going to talk about a few different areas. One, hair, because that's always a big thing. And then another thing is like how colorism plays effect into that. And then also, um, what is the perfect body? Is it even achievable? What does that look like? So let's get into it. So the first question that we had was that's often asked by other women and even each other as sisters, right? Is that your hair? And I've always been offended by it, even when I wore my natural hair long. I'm like, even if I were to wear a weave, what business is that of anyone else's? Like, right now, I wear a lot of hair colors. I wouldn't dare damage my hair with the stuff that I do to my hair. So, yes, I wear weave. And, I've been actually like ridiculed for wearing hair in the top of my head. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to bleach my hair and then go around and put blue and then next week have green and next week have purple. Like, no, it's easier for me to braid my hair up and sew some other hair in there and get the look that I'm looking for. And when I'm done with it, I can switch it up.
You can still have some.
That's my way of artistically expressing myself. And I don't feel like I should have to explain that to anybody. Like, this is me doing art on me.
Right.
So let's talk about that, Monique. Like, what do you think? Where do you think that question is rooted in, and why do we do that to each other?
That whole good hair thing is just one of those crazy things, and that's just another way to be able to, I think, separate ourselves from one another in the Black community. And, even when you get into the whole weave thing, is that us trying to denounce our culture? Is that us hating ourselves because we can't embrace our natural texture of hair? It's a lot of different things. I think weaves are okay, just because the way you said, you use it as a protective style and to just express different things that you want to do to your hair that don't necessarily have to be permanent. I myself, I wasn't like a really big weave person or like braids and stuff. The last time I had like box braids, Poetic Justice was the #1 movie, right? So that was like forever ago. And then just, I think for my wedding, I had like some tracks put in because I had a short haircut and my sister wanted my hair up for my wedding. So it was like a pin up, you couldn't even tell. But the whole like, is that your hair? I think that's just a nicer way to say, what are you? Where are you from? What you made of? And not everybody feels okay with that question. I know with me being looking like how I look, high yellow and beautiful, I've had relaxed hair. I've had my natural hair for a long time, and now me rocking locks. I always get that, is that your hair? Or girl, you got that good hair. And I'm like, no, anytime you got some hair on your head, that's good. I don't care about the texture or all of that, just as long as it's healthy and you loving and you're owning your look and it's making you feel very queenly. Doesn't matter if it grew out or if it's big or if it's short or straight or curly or nappy to kingdom come. It's just another way I feel like that we try and break each other down.
Right. And my thing is your hair, it belongs to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when India.Arie did the song I Am Not My Hair.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my gosh, she did so much for the culture with that. You know what I mean? Shaving her head bald.
Right.
And, you know, just saying, listen, a hair is just an extension of who I am. It's one of my beauty traits. It's not all of them. It's just one. And if I'm defined by my hair, then how shallow are you? Because, you know, you really got to think about that, because like all of my kids have like ridiculously long hair, right? And it's super curly, it's super big. So people are always asking the redundant question, is that their hair? I'm like, and I was always the stupid, smart, aleck person. I'm like, no, I buy tracks and I sew them in their head, you know. And my thing is, you know, if that's what you do with your kids, that's what you do with your kids. But it's like, damn, like, can you get to know what kind of kid they are? If, you know, they like certain things, if they're interested in certain things, how you can add, you know, to them. You know, how can you help them grow? Like, what food can you give them? You know, knowledge wise. You know, why are we so stuck on, you know, what color somebody is, what texture their hair is, you know, if they are built a certain way. um it just blows my mind that we define each other, and then we wonder why other cultures look at us and say the things that they say, when we sit and we tear down each other. You know, we call each other nappy head, we call each other bald head. Like, I wear my hair naturally short, and I remember I had a young lady, she called me bald head, and I thought, like, am I supposed to be offended? Like, I wear my hair short on purpose. I shave my head. Like, there's things that I do to my hair because that's how I feel in that moment. If I felt like wearing pink hair, then, you know, that's how I felt that day. I might put it in today and 4 days later be like, you know what, that ain't me no more. I want to be purple and big and curly. I want some Apollonia 6 hair. I want this. Like, it just depends on how I feel. And I don't feel like I should have to explain my artistic expression to anybody. Like, you're not that important. You know, and I think we need to get into that mindset, period, when it comes to you know, why do we care so much about what somebody thinks about what we do with our hair, what we, you know, do with the way we dress, with the way that, you know, our body is shaped, you know, because everybody, you know, is different. We all have different hair textures, we all have different body shapes, we all have things that make us individually beautiful. If we walked around all the same, then, you know, what's the fun in that? You know, what's the beauty in that? You know, because there's things about you that I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so pretty, or whatever, that flows with her, or with Shannon, or with Danielle, or anybody that we have in our collective. I think we are all gorgeous in our own way.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, you know, we spend too much time tearing each other down about stupid shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think my favorite thing is, can I touch your hair? Oh, that makes me all kinds crazy. When someone that I don't know from Adam walks up to me and say, "Oh, can I touch your hair? Is that your hair?" Like, or you know, as they're asking, they're already like, and I used to get that even before, and now I feel like it's gotten to be a little bit more with locks. And you know, I feel like even with hair, people feel like since our hair is our identity, they can identify us class-wise or kind of what you're into. Oh, she got colorful hair, so she's autistic. They think because since I have locks that I might just be down with weed like that, and that's not my thing. I just wanted to honor my crown in a different way, but no one can really fully get into that unless they already are okay with themselves and can appreciate the diversity of us as a people, not even just as human beings, but in our Black culture, we're very diverse in that. But yeah, everybody is just so weird about, if her hair is long, that means that, you know, it's a status symbol. She might have, you know, she got white in her or Indian in her. It's just another way to categorize ourselves, because we've already been brainwashed into thinking that is the way it is in this country. they put us in boxes, and now we put each other in boxes, and we just can't break away from that mindset of just having to know. I really feel like it's because we're struggling to find some kind of identity in a country that we don't feel uh, accepted in. But
Right.
that's a whole nother show.
You know what? But that kind of leads into the other discussion that you and I were talking about, how colorism plays a role, right? Because like there's a separation in our culture. You know, if we're talking about hair, is your hair natural versus, you know, unnatural? What's deemed natural? You know what I'm saying? Because people be like, oh, well, I don't have a relaxer, but your hair is blonde, sis. That's
Right.
not your natural hair color, you know. Or, you know, people will be like, well, you wear weave, that's not natural. Well, my hair up under the weave is natural. So what are we saying? So,
And it's
you
real
know,
human hair. It's just so me.
right, and I'm just like, why? Like, it's crazy. We can't even agree on what natural is or supposed to look like, and so that becomes a thing that separates us. Then, okay, if we're talking about natural hair, well, do you have 4C hair? Do you have this? Do you have that? Is it nappy enough? You know what I'm saying? And it's like if it's either it's not nappy enough, or it's too curly, it's too soft, it's too straight, then you know your blackness is questioned, you know. And that's a whole nother thing, you know. Now you're not black enough because your hair is too curly. You're not black enough because your hair is fine. You're not black enough because you're too fair. You're not black enough because your nose is not wide enough, or your lips are not full enough, or you know, whatever. You know, it's always these definitions of what defines you as a black woman. And I'm like, who the hell came up with these standards? Because if you look at our history, just coming over from our land over here and where we were dropped off at different points, you know, yeah, we're gonna have differences. Like, you know, with me, my family background is my great grandmother is Haitian and Creole, and my great grandfather is Indian. And so there's bright brights to darks. There's straight hair to the kinkiest of hair. You got high cheekbones, you got flat butts, you got big butts, you got all of these things that are different because you have these two people who loved each other, who procreated, and then they created all of these kids who went on to procreate with other people, but we all come from the same lineage. It doesn't make you any more or any less black. It doesn't mean that, you know, your blackness is determined by, you know, what you look like, because you had no choice. You had no decision process in who your parents were. So for us to like knock each other for our hair texture, or, you know, our lips not being full enough, I just think that that's just a way, like you said, for us to tear each other down. We already been marginalized as a people. And it's like now we're a marginalized people, and now we want to sit up and tear each other down. Like, what would it look like if we was just to like say, you know what, screw all of these standards or these things that we supposed to have, and let's become a unit.
Right.
That's what they're afraid of. So as long as we can have these little stupid, petty conversations about hair and butts and lips, they winning.
Exactly.
They're winning.
They are.
And it's like we give them the fuel to win. They don't even have to do anything anymore.
They don't.
Because
Everybody
if we don't hate ourselves, our sisters do, our brothers do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we're losing. Like we got to kind of break down some of these walls and these stigmas.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. It's a really strange thing. Those seeds that get planted in us, they flourish and they grow, and sometimes they're flowers that we have to put in each other. But you know, the world will definitely grow some weeds that can stifle our growth. But yeah, I feel like you know we could be on this all day talking about some hair, child.
Okay. I just wanted to point out something real cute too that I noticed is, see, this is how I know we be on the same page a lot too. You notice the colors that we have on? They're the
Yeah,
chakra colors for the heart.
they are. They are.
I just wanted to point that out. I was like, I got on the green, she got on the pink.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. But yeah, like so that was a big thing that, we said we needed to talk about as far as beauty standards because like I'm constantly changing my hair because I'm bored very easily, like very easily.
No,
Like
every week I see something new. Like, what is she doing to herself this week?
look, it's gonna be different tomorrow because I only did this last week for my daughter's baby shower because I wanted to have like longer hair for the glam look for her baby shower. Everybody knows that I hate long hair.
I saw her.
So
I'm like, wow, she has long hair. You look so ethereal. You look beautiful.
listen, my hairdresser was even shook, okay? She was like, we keeping this long? I'm like, girl, we gonna be cutting this soon. But I'm about to go on some water, so we gotta figure out. I'm probably gonna do some braids or some twists or something. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I switch it up so much. I can't do this with my real hair. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have any.
You would get long hair. Yeah, you would. Yeah, you would. Yeah. It's different ways to honor your crown. Sometimes we just choose to protect what we have. But then also the thing I get that really bothers me with hair is the fact that women can't embrace their hair because they're like, oh, I'm so dependent on this weave or these braids. And then it is a detriment to them because their hair is breaking off. The edges that used to be here are now back here. And that traction alopecia it messes with you mentally, and then it's no way to get back from there. So I feel like once we can start to honor our crown truly, and however it is, just having that holistic approach to our hair and knowing that, this is the one thing that if you don't cut it, it would just continue to grow and flourish. And you can tell those different things that you did to yourself. Like I can tell when I started my vegetarian journey through my hair because it's just different a little bit. And I can tell, where I did have some hair color and all of these things. So once we can really connect with our hair as a true part of our being and not a hindrance, because I feel so bad when a lot of women be like, oh, my hair is ugly because I didn't go get it done. And I'm looking like, your hair is beautiful. What are you talking about? It grows smooth out your head. Just take your little braids, rock that braid out, and stomp, slay, do you. And it's sad because we have grown women acting like that, and then we have little kids, little babies, 5 and 6 years old, that feel ugly because they don't have this long weave in that their mom thought was cute, and she spent all this money for them to have in their hair. And then when they take that hair down and they got to go to school the next day with their actual hair out, they're in the mood. They can't even focus on school, and they because they feel ugly. And I think that's awful. That's like my man. That really just hurts my heart because I have to sit up here and constantly tell the little babies, Caucasian children aren't worried about how their hair is looking when they go to preschool. We just trying to make sure we keep gum out of it and no hair lice. We just trying to keep it clean.
Just keep it clean.
But
it can be straggly.
Yeah.
It can be sticking up on the top of their head a little bit. That little peekaboo thing. You see that a lot on them little kids. They don't care. But
not about it.
One thing, when you were speaking on that, it reminded me of the Beyonce and Blue Ivy situation. I remember when that little girl was younger, how Beyonce was critiqued very heavily for the lack of maintaining her hair. And I remember getting into a full-fledged discussion. I'm not gonna call it an argument. I'll call it a discussion. With a person because they were like, saying that she needed to comb this young girl's hair. And I was like, well, her hair is combed. Like, it's not matted to her head. It might not be in a style that you would prefer for your child to have. I said, but she's protecting her hair by not pulling in it, by not stressing her edges out because her hair is still very fine and sensitive because she still has like baby hair growth things going on. You cannot snatch on a child's hair when they're that young. And then you look at some older kids and older women and wonder why they have a hard time growing their edges and things like that. It's because when they were younger, their hair was pulled to no end, and now that the hair follicle along their hairline is damaged. So if you look at Blue Ivy's hair now, it's gorgeous. Like, it's everywhere, and I love it. And I think Beyonce did two things with that. I think one, she taught Blue Ivy to embrace her beauty with her natural hair, and how to deal with people critiquing you and still loving yourself at the same time. Because this baby was, what, 3-4 years old when people were talking about this child's head. And I'm like, y'all ain't got nothing else to do but to sit up and criticize a baby's hair. Like, grow up,
I've had that when my youngest daughter was small. I didn't want to do too much to her hair, so I would wash it, comb it out, moisturize it, and put a little bow on the side. And off to church we went. And I had someone tell me, well, when are you going to do her hair? I'm like, well, first of all, her hair is done. She just going to rock this little tiny fro until her hair actually grows in. She's 2 years old. Why do I need to do all of that? Well, I remember with your other daughter, it was always in. I said, but she got different hair. Like, I'm not going to stress my baby's hair out because my oldest had this kind of hair that, it was a little longer, not as kinky of a curl. I knew that. I'm not about to sit up here and make my baby cry either because she doesn't want to sit for 45 minutes for me to try and do something with this hair that's this long. No, I'm gonna let her be. She's all right. Even now, they're big. I don't really go fussing in their hair too much. I'm like, what you want this week? We're gonna wash it, we're gonna comb it, and if I can manage to get in a protective style that'll give me 5 days, we doing something good. But sometimes she just rocking a poof and she's happy. And that's okay. She loves that. She not up here like, Mommy, I need a perm. Or can you blow my hair out? Can you flat iron it? Because look, that big fro, we worked hard for that. We worked hard to grow that. And it's beautiful. And she be in the mirror. All my girls be in the mirror just looking at this hair. And they got some friends that they can't look in the mirror at their hair with the same pride that they do.
Right. And that's unfortunate. You know what I mean? Like you said, other cultures don't do that. Asian girls don't do that. White girls don't do that. Indian girls don't do it. Matter of fact, Indian children, they cut their hair off when they are young.
So like, people wear it in their hair.
I'm like, man, if we could just, shave our kids' head and let them be, our little girls' hair and let them be, and let them rock out some cute hair bows or some flowers or whatever they want to rock out that day. How amazing would that be? You know what I mean? But we're so pressed to impress other people, oh, my daughter fly today. My daughter this today. Oh, my daughter, she killing the game. Why can't she just be a little girl? Why can't she just, play with her dolls? Why can't she ride a bike? Why can't she read a book? Why can't she pretend that she's a doctor? You're like, just let your kids be. Like, and then we wonder why they grow up so fast, why they imitate these things and whatnot, because we are not teaching them or allowing the space for them to be kids. We're setting beauty standards on them from the time they're born.
Yeah.
And a lot of us, we're not even thinking about doing it. We're just so programmed to doing it. Like, I remember my mom telling me my ears was pierced at 2 months old.
Yeah.
Why? It's not a culture thing. It's not a rites of passage thing. Why were my ears pierced at 2 months? Oh, because you wanted people to know I was a girl. Oh, you put me on pink because you want them to know that I was a girl. You wanted to do all of these things, and then got mad as hell when I didn't want to wear dresses when I was old enough to say, hey, I don't want to wear this, or I don't want to look like this. That was a challenge for her because she wanted everybody to look at me and be like, oh, this cute little girl, and I didn't want to be that. I wanted to be like my boy cousins. I wanted to break dance. I wanted the red leather Michael Jackson jacket. I didn't want to wear the dress. And so, then then at least that takes you to other labels, right?
Yeah.
So, in our community, we're harsh.
Yeah.
If we don't follow certain beauty standards, then you must be gay, or you must what's the other thing that I was hearing a lot when I was growing up? Oh, you're a weird kid, or you're emo, or whatever. They'll be like, well, you don't want to do this, so you got to be this. Well, why can't I be who I am and just express myself a certain way? Like what's the issue with that? I just feel like it's already bad enough. We already have these harsh society norms, right? And then when you take it down, just to the Black community, we have even more layers that we have to cut through just to prove that we're Black, that we have to prove that we're feminine, that we have to prove all of these things to people that really don't even damn matter. Like, why am I proving these things?
That's why, even when we were thinking about what we're going to talk about today, when we're thinking about the plastic surgery, I mean, I was looking up just a couple of things about like statistics last night. I'm like, this is serious that in the Black community, plastic surgery is on a for real rise. Like, we're spending our money on putting foreign objects and poisons in our body just to look a certain way because we feel like we have to meet some perfective frame of beauty that it just does not exist. It doesn't. And it's like, it makes me sad because I have a niece who is approaching 14, and we were talking, just girl talk, and she really talking about her body in such a way that I'm like, man, I wasn't even thinking in those terms. Like, she want bigger boobs and a bigger butt and eyelash extensions and all of these things, and because she thinks that's what these guys is wanting to see. And I'm like, see, now real men don't care nothing about no Brazilian butt lifts, no the perkiest breast ever. It's unattainable, and our people are really going in and just doing the most. And I'm all for, whatever gives you glory in your life. But when I hear about people risking their lives because they don't feel like there are enough, that kind of just get into a real funky place with me. Like, I just don't get that whole, that part of beauty for us as a people. We are so disconnected from our own selves that we're thinking outside, oh, I need this booty. I need these boobs. I'm going to put this in my lips. Or I don't want to look like I ever smile, so I'm going to get rid of these lines. And I'm going to tattoo on the perfect brow so I don't have to keep doing this. And just all of this stuff. It's just ridiculous to me. I mean, it's so sad because I don't want my daughters feeling like they got to measure up to something that is not real. Not these Instagram chicks, these beautiful filters that these people can create. No, you know what filter I got on today, boo? Fenty. And a little bit of water. I'm not about to sit up here and play no game because you see me in real life. I don't need you to be like, who is this woman? I don't know her.
Right.
No, I look like this and I own it all. I wish we can just own our bodies, because once we can own our bodies, then men will understand yo, this is what it is. And to the ones that think they are real ones, them young men out there, if you just so happen to come across this, if you are a man that thinks that beauty is a booty that don't really move, but it got a high profile, you can sit your coke on it, or if you think that boobs naturally just stay up here, you a fool, because they don't. Not on any given day. I don't care what size. And they can't be big and sit here neither, because then them joints ain't never gonna move.
Never.
It's not natural.
And so you know how I gotta do. So I gotta give from a different perspective, right?
Yeah, I know.
So it's funny that we're having this conversation because I am actually going to have plastic surgery myself.
What?
Yes. And when I have these discussions with people, they're like, well, what exactly did you want to have done? Because you're fine, right? And I said, let me explain something to you. I had my first child at 18. Then I had my second child at 19. And I had my third child at 22. And I had a very muscular track star body, like very lean. Like I had a 6-pack. I had, very big thighs, legs, nice little butt on me, right? Whatever, right? Real sculpted arms.
You were
So when I had my children, I gained, I want to say 60 pounds with each of my pregnancies. So when I went from 105 pounds to 160, 170 with each of my babies, it gave me a lot of stretch in my abdomen area. Now, is it so bad to the point where, it's just horrible to look at? Absolutely not. But for me, as far as things that I want to go back to, because like I said, I had my first child at 18, my last one at 22. I'm now 42 years old. That's 20 years of looking at my stomach and not being happy with the way it looks. Not because some dude told me that is what I need to work on, but because I look at my stomach and say, hey, I'm not happy with this. So, I think it's okay to have certain procedures done if it makes you happy as a person, not so much what you feel like other people are going to think, like as far as like when you have it done. Now, I will be the first to tell you, when I do have my stomach done, I am going to be a bad chick, but I'm a bad chick now.
You sure?
So I'm just going to be badder when I get my stomach done. And I've never worn a 2-piece a day in my life. So when I get my stomach done, I am going to be on the book with a 2-piece on. Just know that, and my thing is like my 40s is about to be my life, right? But I'm not doing it for social media. I'm not doing it for a man. I'm doing it for me. Like I'm choosing me. Like I didn't look like that before I had my children, and I don't feel like I should look like that after I have my kids. You know what I'm saying?
Are you seeking perfection though? Like, see,
No.
sometimes I think it's cool when you get the little mommy makeover. Like, I don't see anything wrong with that, because sometimes we bust our butts, we lose weight, and we have skin that doesn't go back. And then with the abdomen area, that's a condition that is it called diastasis? I had that. It's like your ab muscles after pregnancy, they kind of go here, but they never get a chance to come back. So I get that. A lot of people who had twins, or like you said, back-to-back pregnancies like that, I see that. I'm like, okay, you can tighten it up, but you're not you're not trying to put any poison or anything that surgery comes with complications anyway,
Right.
whether it's your tooth or whatever, there's always some complications, but it's the thought process behind it. When I hear about, your situation, I'm quite sure it's a lot of us out here that, they've lost weight, gained weight, whatever, accidents, traumas, anything that could happen to us, and we kind of want to feel normal in our skin. Yeah, that's okay to improve upon, but when I'm watching a video and somebody's booty fell down their pants at a concert, like your whole butt cheek is gone.
Right.
I don't know. I don't think you ain't had no kids, and you already had a booty. If you had a little bit of booty, you out there rocking life already. So for you to want to have that, that desktop booty, I understand. It's the extreme to it. I think we can do things gracefully, and just kind of enhance the sexy, like we do with makeup, like we do with hair. But when folks go overboard and they can see your booty from the front down the street, that's too much.
But you know what? I know women who are naturally built like that, and they hate it. Like they hate
So
being
self-conscious.
built like that.
Uh-huh.
And it's sad because like they want men to get to know them for who they are or to see them first. And the disrespect that comes from being built like that naturally. Because I remember the first time I met a young lady when I was living in Atlanta. She was from St. Louis. And, she would be like, I mean, got a real nice Coke bottle frame, but like you said, could see the butt before you see anything else. Even when she walking towards you, that's the first thing you see. You like, oh my gosh. And she was like, guys are just so disrespectful towards her because that's all they see. They don't see anything else. And they don't realize like how much of an amazing person she really is because they're so focused on her derriere. So that's another thing. I think, a lot of times when women are seeking those body shapes, they're seeking the attention that's going to come with it because someone never told them that they were beautiful the way they are. No one ever instilled the value of who, being happy with who you are. That part was never given to them. They probably grew up with a bunch of moms and aunties and cousins that was stuck on beauty standards. Oh, girl, you ain't got no booty. You got to do this. You need to eat this. You need to do this. I've been around those type of situations where people be like, oh, well, you need to eat more bread or you need to eat more of this. You need to fluff that butt up or whatever. And so when you grow up hearing those kinds of things, and then you're like, okay, well, it's not in my DNA to have those things. So what's the next best thing for me to do? Go to Dr. Miami and have it done.
Right.
And then too, these babies, they tear our bodies up. So, a guy might be attracted to you at first and then stick a few kids up in you and then be like, well, damn, you ain't snatched like you was like when I was
That's what you say. Don't
right.
You did this to me. You should have pulled out.
And then, so now they trying to keep a man.
Right.
So they end up getting these things done. And like, but another thing for us to consider too, at what cost are you willing, to take to have the perfect body? Because a lot of girls are dying, trying to get this perfect body because one, they're not taking into consideration the aftercare. They're not taking into consideration the physician selection in the first place. They're not doing the research that they need to do. They're like, okay, I need this done. I have this amount of money. This is who can do it for this price. And not even realizing that there's more resources out there to help you get the best surgeon for whatever it is that you want to have done. So I'm not going to tell people not to have surgery because it depends on what you're trying to do. If it's for you, and you're going to feel better about yourself, your mental health is way more important than a lot of things. But if you just doing it for society, for likes on Instagram, to keep a man that probably don't want to be kept in the first place, like you got to make sure you're doing it for you because you are really putting your life on the line when you get on that cutting table. You could be the healthiest person and get on that table and be opened up to infection because you never know what's present in that room. It doesn't matter how sterile it is. It could be someone sick that day and they in there doing your surgery and you get sick. There could be other kind of complications. There could be, somebody accidentally nipped the blood vessel, somebody nipped the nerve, somebody, so you just got to say, okay, at the end of the day, is whatever I'm trying to achieve worth these risks? And if you can still sit down and say yes, then you should take the proper steps to research and make sure that you're getting the best doctor, the best care, the best aftercare, because that is critical. You still got stuff to do after the surgery. Like, it's not just you get the surgery and you're done. Like, there's months of recovery afterwards. So you need to take that into consideration when you going to making this decision, because it is a life or death situation, for a lot of people.
I mean, I can't even imagine spending $10,000 on something like that. Now, I mean, to me, That's a new car, or a down payment for a house, or like some really dope stock portfolio investment. I can't
Or
justify that.
if you
Or
want to drive cross country last minute for 2.5 weeks,
making memories. Like, I get that, but
right?
when I hear about people putting payments, I got my booty on layaway. What? I remember my daddy putting my school clothes on layaway,
Right.
or the Christmas gifts, not
Yeah.
a whole booty. No.
Girl, they financing hair. So like to finance a butt or some boobs is like nothing. They finance hair, they finance getting teeth pulled and all kind of stuff. Girl, if you got a what is it called? Care credit, you could get all kinds of stuff with a payment plan. It's amazing. I didn't even know that until I started looking into options to have my surgery done. Like what options are really out there, because it's such a high demand. It's a business. It's like a multi-billion-dollar industry right now. So they are figuring out every way possible for everybody to be able to get in on this, because they want all of the money. And then that's another reason why I say you got to be careful, because are these people out here reputable? Are these people out here really taking your health into consideration when they're doing these surgeries on you? You know, you really gotta do some investing. Like I'm going out of the country to have mine done. You know, I have a thing with American doctors, first of all. And then secondly, you know, the one that we've been following or whatever, I've seen nothing but great work. He doesn't have, you know, I think he might have had some situation, but I don't think he had any deaths. Like I think somebody might have got real sick or something like that. But it could have been a few different things. Like I said, aftercare is a major thing. Like you really got to be on that. But he won't even release you until you have all of your aftercare lined up once you leave.
Yeah.
So
don't even care about it. Because you go home, or they leave you in a hotel room by yourself. You trying to figure out, like, no, you need to be under the care of a nurse or someone that can help you with dreams and do stuff like that. This is not just going home after LASIK surgery and I'm just gonna lay up for a day or two. No, this is real. Like you have staples and things moved around and pushed to the side, and it's a real thing. And they put so much in your body that can throw you off. Even if you have the perfect surgery and the most competent surgeon, you don't know how your body is gonna react to 4 hours of general anesthesia. You don't know. You might have, I've been asleep because I had my teeth pulled, or I've had a local because I had to get a hangnail did. But
it's different.
You don't know about 4 hours. And sometimes it come down to just being a pound or two off. Like, oh, I ate that burrito the night before because I knew I wasn't going to be able to eat for 12 hours. And now you're 2 pounds over and they didn't calibrate that medication right. And now you sitting up here in a coma, or you all by yourself and nobody checking on you. Right. So it is. I feel like aftercare is definite, and that's with anything. Just making sure that you know what you're getting yourself into and making the necessary steps to know you have to be lazy for a little bit. And that is hard. That's hard. That's going to be hard for you, because I know that's hard for me. So I'm like, I don't know.
But another thing too, people think they can just go have these surgeries and then they have the perfect body too. Like I know, like after I have my surgery, I'm gonna have to be in this gym. Like I know I'm gonna have to eat different than I may have. You know, my diet isn't necessarily a bad thing, huh?
You're gonna be swollen and you're gonna have some bruises. You go through like the ugly stage before it gets pretty. But yeah, you do have to do the work. It comes with, you know, the nutrition and the fitness and all of those things. And I feel like, you know, when I look at these people that they already are fine, they tiny here, they just want big here, there's nothing wrong with you. You don't need to eat more. You just need to embrace that you are petite built. You're thin. Just as long as you're not unhealthy, no doctor sitting up here saying, yo, I see your ribs, your malnutrition, you all of this. If you are fine, be spelled. Be you. If you a little thick, hey. They got that too. You know, this plastic surgery. I just the unnecessary plastic surgery. I feel like just to attain something that you think you need to have so that you can be out here Instagram famous or have your OnlyFans on pop. Like no, any
Well,
dude that care about that. It's just he's
what I
tried.
will say, if it's career based, you know, because you do have a major stripper or sex entertainment industry. That's
Yeah,
another $1 billion industry. So if that's your way of making a living, then you know, like I said, you know, do what you got to do. Because I'm not gonna. Okay, so I gotta be a little transparent. So I worked down at the Super Bowl in Atlanta. What was it, not this year, but last year, right? Might have been. I think it was 2019 when the Super Bowl was in Atlanta. And I think those 2 weeks, I made, and I'm not a stripper. I made like $4,500 in those 2 weeks, $5,000 in those 2 weeks that I was down there working. And so I'm thinking I'm doing something right, and I'm having conversations with my homegirl who happens to be in the industry, and she was like, "Yeah, you know, some of my friends made $300,000 in these last 6 weeks with the Super Bowl being in, you know, Atlanta because people coming there to spend money." And and for a moment, I was like, well, damn, maybe I need to get my body together and go be a stripper for a Super Bowl weekend because I think it was supposed to have been in Miami this year. So I was like, well, maybe I could be ready for Miami. You know, I was joking, but I wasn't joking at the same time. Because I was like, $300,000 could change a sister's life. You know what I'm saying? So if I got to do a $30,000 investment to make 300, you do the math. So what I will say is, you know, like if that's how you eat, by all means, you know, whatever. But if you're just doing it, like I said, just to do it for the sake of it, because I'm in a store sometimes behind some of these girls, and it's obvious that their butts were done, and it's obvious that they were. I mean, and like thighs don't match, like the whole nine. Like it's not even attractive, and a lot of times, and I'm like, you really went and did this to yourself. You deformed yourself on purpose for what? Like, is this making you any money? Is this doing anything for you long term? And I do want to respond to a young lady's message that I did see come across the bottom of the screen. She said, beauty standards aren't really made by men, they're made by other women. That's kind of true, but it's kind of not true at the same time. I think we are harder on each other. But why are we harder on each other? Because we see each other as competition. We see each other as competition for these men because these men are saying these things. You know, how many times have you heard a man say, oh, you know, she got a fat ass, or, you know, her titty's nice, or, you know, making those comments, and you sitting over here with a pancake booty, or you got a flat chest, you like, well, damn, I ain't cute because I ain't got a fat ass because I don't have big titties. Like, you start to feel a certain way, you know, when you hear men.
Because they got push-up bros.
Hmm?
She probably don't have that either because she got on a push-up bro, and then they got panties with booty pads in them joints. So I can't even worry about what she got because I don't. We all.
But you're confident. But you're confident in who you are, Monique, and that plays a major role. Like, if you are confident in yourself, you're not worried about what the next woman got going on. If anything, you're gonna uplift her because, you know, that's what you do. That's how we operate. But what I'm saying is for the insecure mind, the mind that hasn't developed to the point where we are as women, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard for them to be like, okay, am I beautiful? Especially when they're not hearing it. And then they hear guys, you know, saying all of these things about what beauty is supposed to look like. Like, they'll tell, oh, that's another thing. So guys will say, oh, I don't like a girl with makeup on, right?
Yeah.
Or she wears too much makeup. But you look up every time he turned around, the chick that he got on his arm got on a full face.
Man.
You know, it makes you wonder.
Yeah.
Right. You know, or like, you know, dudes would be like, oh, I don't like chicks that walk around in lingerie. But every time you turn around, he's attracted to this chick that got on lingerie on Instagram or Facebook, or, you know, it just makes you question, like, okay, what is the beauty? What are the beauty standards? Like, do you really want me to walk around in lingerie and dance for you? Do you really want me to walk around with a face full of makeup? Like, what do you really want? You know, that's if you're that insecure, though. You know, if you're focused on what he wants versus what you want. And so that's why I had to tell my story about my plastic surgery journey, because I'm doing this for me. I'm not doing this because some man told me, oh, your stomach, you know, could use some work. I even went to my doctor and asked him, I said, is there a way for me to burn this off? Because I don't care how much I'm in the gym, like it'll get to a certain point, but it's never gonna look the way that it did. And they explained to me the damage that was done. And they was like, the only way to fix that is to have corrective surgery. So that's where we are. You know, I have to have that done for me.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's okay. You need to be able to feel good in your skin. But it's good to know that, hey, this is my skin. I'm okay looking at my skin. And all the changes that they had. I know that in my journey through motherhood, being a small petite person, I'm not tall. I'm 5'3", and you know I was up here walking around Cincinnati at 115 pounds. Like, yeah, I got this. Like, I'm cool. I can wear a bralette and feel like life was good. You have some babies, then you need an underwire, because you need some help so that you can. And I really, no one prepared me for what breastfeeding looks like when you're not breastfeeding no more. Nobody even told me when I went home that what I had was going to be like this. I was like, oh my God, nobody told me the change that was going to be in the process of having them and then afterwards. And, you know, you've done it 3 times, I've done it 4. And I had some big babies, and I'm like, yo, this is wild. It took a long time for me to get to a place where I'm okay with all of that. I wear every stretch mark like a badge of honor, because this body that God created us, wonderfully, beautifully made, we can do so much. Like, that's the dopest thing. We got like people growing in us, becoming flesh. And then our bodies go through this beautiful transition. And then we have these babies, and then we feel kind of depleted, like, oh, all of that for this? I got the beautiful baby, but my boobs is down to my knee now. I don't know what to do about it. I just live my best life, though, because I have the cost for me, the vanity cost was nothing. You know, I can be healthier. You know, I'm going to eat better. I'm going to exercise and get to where I can. If it's causing you discomfort and pain, yeah, do you? But I had to walk that journey of just being okay and looking at my body in a different way. These boobs that used to be a B and they not a B no more, they fed. I was the exclusive natural chef and nutrient giver to 4 lives. That's bomb. I can make my own food. That's great. And they lived off of me and became, you know, little babies to like big babies just off of what I was doing. I wasn't even trying. Like, that kind of stuff. I just got so hype about every change. Yeah, I had to go and spend $65 on a bra. That's the devil, but that's okay, because I look at it, and what I thought was to be a hindrance, somebody else is spending, you know, a small fortune to have what I have. So we all have our crosses to bear when we look at ourselves in the mirror. At the end of the day, you really just have to love the skin you in and understand that this ain't happened by accident. If you had some trauma, yeah, I can see that. A bad car accident, a violent situation, you know, an illness, you know, you had some cancer or something and the scars from the operation left you. Extreme childbirth, those complications that come with postpartum, I get that. But just to be sitting out here trying to flex on somebody, no, love you, boo. Just love all of it. Just
Right.
love all of it. Because somebody will.
Right.
They never just left me because he like, boo, you got a little bit too fluffy. No. He just pulled
Right.
up a little closer. That's all.
Look, and your husband know he would be a damn fool, okay? A hot damn fool. But so what can we say to the younger Black ladies that are looking up to us now and seeing all of these things on IG, and seeing all of these things in the entertainment industry? Like, what can we do to help guide them through this process?
It's all about perspective. I think we just have to let them know. This lady that you see on Instagram or Snapchat or YouTube, what is she about? Is she only about the looks? Is it only about the clout for her? Understand, these pictures are filtered. They manipulate everything. Let's go see her in real life. Let's go see these girls in real life. I love when I see these touched pictures and then somebody was at the event and they saw the celebrity or, you know, this YouTuber in real life in her bikini, like, oh, okay. Is that the same person? Like, you have to really, I feel like we got to give our kids this way of thinking a little deeper. And just when they look in the mirror, because they can look on their phones and computer screens, but when they look in the mirror, they got to just know I tell my kids every day that they are beautiful. Yes. Not that they're perfect. My baby was just telling me the other night, like, man, you know what? If I could change, it would just be the acne. Well, you 14. You supposed to have acne right now. Your body is growing and it's chemical things going on. Now we can try and do some things to help alleviate it, but boo, this is just temporary. You're going to have some beautiful skin and you still beautiful. I'm like, look at them eyes, girl. And look at these lips and look at this. And then oh yeah, you're right, Mom. Yeah, cause God don't make no jump.
And you tell my niece it's better for her to have it at 14 than at 30.
Right.
Because that's when I got my first acne breakout at 30. I had perfect, flawless skin. I just knew I had missed it. And I was about to turn 30 and all hell broke loose.
But see, that's a hormone fluctuation at age too. So it's just, you just got to be able to look deeper and be able to see, you know, we have to tell our kids, sometimes what we doing when we look at people, we kind of anonymize because we talk like, oh, she got a fat butt or look at her boobs or look at her lips or all of that. But if we need to take inventory of ourselves, we need to take inventory of ourselves. What do I like about me today? Right. Like I'm liking the way that this hair is laying down today. It's giving me life. Or, you know, we was getting ready. I can put my makeup on so I can look like I slept really good and that I got a little bit of sun or something like that. But I'm not sitting up here like, oh, I need to. No, I could come on here with no makeup and I don't even have on a lot of makeup. Like I don't look like, you see me in real life without makeup on. I feel like I look the same. I just, you know, if I like over pluck a little bit, I want two matching eyebrows. They don't have to be twins, but they got to be sisters. So if somebody's a little messed up, I'm going to just fix that while it grow out.
You don't want cousins.
Yeah. I don't want it to be that one cousin neither. I've done that before. I've waxed off a whole piece of my eyebrow and couldn't do nothing but laugh because it was like, really? All right, so we're going to be drawing on one eyebrow every day. That's okay. Right. But I really just do that. And for why? Why did I do that? For a couple little sparse hairs? I just messed my whole face up. Like my expression was off. My kids looking at me. Talking about waxing the eyebrow. People up here, you know, coming out here with the lopsidedness. And I'm like, nothing is symmetrical on us anyway. That if it's like, you need to get it fixed because it's too much. They in a different place, then okay, you can correct that. But stop trying to be perfect. You just got to love something about you every day. Like I love your smile, Danny, and I'll be looking forward to seeing it when you come to my house. And I'm like, yeah, some people just got an energy about themselves. They might not be the prettiest thing, but when they walk up in the room, honey, people know because they vivacious and they're confident and they might not have this much hair on their head. And they can't do makeup to save their life. And their clothes might not fit just right. But honey, I done seen it. Can't even walk in heels. And they walk up in the club like every man wants them. And they do. They be going up to them.
Self confidence is everything. And I think, I think that's what that should be like our closing thing that we really talk about, is that we talk about how we have to uplift our daughters first and foremost. We have to tell them that they're beautiful. We have to teach them self-acceptance. We have to teach them self-worth. We have to do that, because the society that we live in is not going to show them any love. Our Black community outside of these four walls probably is not going to show you that love. So it's our job as mom, as grandma, as auntie, as sisters to pour in to our Black girls, to let them know your lips are perfect, your nose is perfect, your melanin is popping, your hair is beautiful, no matter how it coils. Also point out the other things, like, the weird shit that our kids like to do. Be okay with our kids being weird as fuck. Like, it is okay. Like, I love being around your girls because they remind me of me when I was that age. You know what I'm saying? Or when my kids were that age. It's refreshing to see kids that want to do different stuff than other kids. Like, and that y'all are supportive of that, and that y'all allow them to be the unique person that they are. Because, yeah, they do have other siblings, but they are not their siblings. They are their individual selves. And another thing that I think we need to do with our young girls is do positive affirmations. Let them look in the mirror and let them say positive things to themselves every day. Encourage them to be whoever they decide to be. And we need to be okay with that so that they can be okay with that. And it was something else she talked about. Oh yeah, the alopecia. I wanted to talk on that real briefly. I have a friend that suffered from alopecia. And she ended up shaving her hair off, I want to say last year. When I say girl rocks that bald head like nobody's business, and she'd be so flat. And when I say, she used to wear the bombest cute haircuts and all that stuff prior to, and she said she just accepted it for what it was, and she just went ahead and cut that thing off. And let me tell you, you wouldn't know that she had a damn disorder unless she told you. You know what I'm saying? And that's her personal journey. But just, whatever your flaw is, if you see it as a flaw, because it might not necessarily be a flaw, whatever that flaw is, embrace it. Because guess what? Chances are you're going to stress yourself out trying to fix some shit that you can't. And something that is probably not even that daggone important in the first place.
Right.
So, just revaluing ourselves and fixing each other's crowns, because we know, there's women outside of our culture that got every nasty thing to say about us. Let's not be that to each other. Like, let's, compliment each other. Let's lift each other up. It's weird being in Cincinnati here because I compliment women all the time, and I think they think I'm hitting on them.
Yeah, they do.
And I'm like, I'm not hitting on you. I'm simply speaking life into you because somebody probably didn't do that today for you. You know what I mean? And I do it especially for little girls. I do it for little girls especially because they got to hear it more than we do. But I have no problem with complimenting a sister on her hair, on how pretty her skin is, how her dress is. Like, I compliment us all the time because we need it. We get beat up enough out here. We need positive feedback.
Yeah.
And we should be that for each other.
And then also teaching these men how to treat us. Don't respond to the hey sexy or whatever. I like when a man can articulate the appreciation of a woman in a way that's not sexualizing. And we have to teach our sons that as well. I only got one boy, but he got all these sisters, and he knows. He tells his sisters, you look pretty today. You know you're beautiful because I'm beautiful. So if I'm beautiful, you got to be beautiful. Yeah, that's right, boo. And he's going to have a girlfriend and a wife and daughters one day, and he's going to make sure that he remembered. My mom told me we were beautiful. I told my sisters they was beautiful, and he's going to have a different eye when he looks out into the world. And he's not going to use that language to sexualize these women so that they feel that we just a piece of meat out here. You know, we tits on the stick, or, you know, a small waist and a big butt. Like, it's not even about that. We have to really help these men understand how to talk to us. We can do it. Because I know I done had many a young man in my day say something crazy to me. And I'm like, no, the reason why I'm not going to talk to you is because the way that you approached me was disrespectful.
Right.
Go on with that. I can be up if you want me to be. That's whatever it is. You ain't going to talk to me like that. So we got to get with these brothers and let them know. No, you are in the presence of royalty.
You gotta know.
You can't even if I'm in a grocery store with pajama pants and a bonnet on and a little eye booger in my eye, still royal.
You better know.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Well, I know it was one more point we wanted to touch on, but maybe we can save that for another day. We can know.
Yeah, you know, we be out here every Sunday. Same place, same time. So we'll probably get into it.
Yes.
So what you want to? I guess that's it, ain't it?
We are closing the month of August. It just flew by. We getting ready to be up into September this week. So just, you know, we all need to be mindful the significance this is. Is this a Women Abuse Month or something? What is it called?
Oh yeah, Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Violence Awareness Month. Yes. So let's just be mindful and looking out for our sisters, and we're going to be having those kinds of conversations going into September. So I'm really excited about us all having that real conversation and breaking down what that looks like, and how that affects us, and how we can heal as a people. And again, just honoring each other and loving each other through our imperfections and the traumas that we had going on. So I look forward to the new month, and I hope that everybody still remembers to check us out, not just here on Facebook, but go check us on YouTube at Dope Chicks, and our Instagram at Dope Chicks on Instagram. And, you know, you can find Danny on her handles as well, and me, Monique, in real life as well. So next week we'll have, hopefully it won't just be the two of us. We can have more, but this was still lovely, sis. I love talking with you.
Oh yeah, I love talking to you too. You know, we could talk forever.
We can.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to Dope Chycks Collective. I hope you were able to take away a few gems. And if you have anything that you would like to add to future shows, feel free to email us at dopechickscollective@gmail.com. And we will talk to you soon. Love you.
You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. Love y'all.
Bye-bye.